Kia ora everyone, welcome or welcome back, and kia ora all the same. I want to jump straight into this one on part 2 of our two-parter done on witches. So I'd like to introduce to you guys Dopey Witch number 3. Its name is this Dopey Witch is kind of like our succubus, very much so. But like it's close, but not quite the succubus level, because that really is another level of dumbness. And if you haven't seen that episode, watch it after this one. And then let us know in the comments below what you think. Is this Dopey Witch as dumb as the succubus? Is this one as stupid as that one? Let us know. Please let us know. Anyways, so this rich lister is our Dopey Witch number 3. Now, here's something that hopefully explains somewhat why these Dopey Witches are at the level of the DC. And that has to do with both what we call narcissism, as I'm sure we're all aware of how that is portrayed in true crime, and the narcissist and how they view themselves. So it is that all of them have this narcissistic belief in their self. But what makes them DC is their dumbness. You see, when that dumbness overtakes the narcissism, and it does, you get the brains of a DC. Here, I'll use Dopey Witch 3 as the example to what I mean. You see, Dopey here, she committed her crime, murder, by way of arson. That they put arson into their J4 planning. And by doing that, these narcissistic geniuses just don't see that what they've done is to bring on board a huge amount of experienced senior firefighters and arson investigators. These guys are like Einsteins, but not at maths, but just anything flammable. So now, not only does DC have to get away with what we call the perfect murder, she's also got to get away with the perfect arson. Oh man, yes, genius Bailey. Not only now does DC go up against senior detectives and everything that they've got in the CSI bin, but they've just taken on the scientists. Oh man, goddamn geniuses. And that is just one of the reasons why this bitch of Eastwick, this Dopey Witch, is on this episode. And now the backstory. Our DC, when she was younger and a whole heap prettier, started working at her new job. And shortly after that, she started working on her new boss, who indeed is the victim of this Dopey Witch, which in this case, and most of the cases in our Dopey Witches that we cover on this channel, is about the same. But first, before she murders him, she bears him a couple of kids, and it's these kids that our Dopey Witch decides to use inside her J for Genius plan. And now we're going to take a look at that plan. Now, back in 2007, our DC wanted what Dopey Witch number 2 wanted, which was life on Easy Street. And just like Dopey 2, she had insured her old man for about $500K. Now, her plan was simple, about as simple as what she is. She's going to kill him, and she's going to do that by burning him to death at their home that she lived in with her soon-to-be deceased hubby and their 2 kids. Now, she set up this arson to happen on the busy morning of the 29th of June. Now, why is it a busy morning? Well, she's had to joe out her hubby by feeding him some pills to go 9 eyes. Then she's got to get her 2 kids in the car and then go back into the house, pour the kerosene throughout his bedroom and all over the door, which she's about to lock him inside. And then she's going to light a match and get the fire started and then rip back to the car and drive off with her kids and one of her mates inside like nothing had ever happened. And all that murdering has made her quite hungry. So on that morning, her and the kids and her mate pulled into a drive-thru and got some food. And then she just carried on her merry, witchy way. Now, shortly after 8:30 that morning, the fire department got a call and they turned up and put the fire out. And they found our victim and the damage a witch fire can do. Now, it was a few days after that they called our Dopey Witch in and her couple of kids so they can ask her some questions about what happened that morning. And this is her.
Like in the morning time, what time did you wake up, that kind of stuff?
We always woke up 6:30, 7 o'clock, drank our coffee together, talked. I don't know, husband and wife things. That's what you do before you get kids up. And I was going to go get a car, took my shower. He talked to the kids a little bit. He said his stomach was upset and he was going to fix toast. And kissed me, told me he loved me. Because kids loved him. And he said, "When we got back." And, well, my husband weren't like himself. We were looking for him. I know we didn't leave any later than 8:30. I know that.
Now what we'll do is we'll head back to DC's J for Genius plan. You see, Dopey here, when she was making that plan, she had a moment of DC brilliance because she thought to herself, well, if I'm going to burn the house down, that will burn everything, and I sure as well don't want to have to buy anything new, especially clothes for the kids. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pack all of the clothes that I want and all my things and all the really special stuff, my shit, and then I'm going to put it all outside in the garden shed. And I'll pack some of the kids' clothes into some suitcases because I like to put that in the car, you see, because we're probably not going to be coming back here because the bloody house will be burnt down after I torch it. And DC thought to herself, that's a bloody smart move there, DC. Yeah, genius. And you see, that was part of her J for Genius plan. Yep, she thought to herself, God, I'm a bloody genius. Yes, you are, DC. Yes, you are. Now, here's the thing. Because, see, this Dopey witch believes as long as she doesn't tell them, as long as she doesn't tell the cops about the clothes, then they're none the wiser. And she doesn't. But here's a little problem, and it comes from the mouths of babes. In fact, in this case, her babes, her babies. You see, her kids, who were completely unaware about who their mother really was. That their mum was not only the type of mum who was a murderer, but she's the murderer of your dad, who you absolutely love and adore because, yeah, he's a good guy. You see, that's the thing with DC is all of them, always, all the time, without fail in this DC universe, in our universe, you know, the real one, DC's only ever kill the good guy. Ever. And that truly is the biggest reason of why they are dumb criminals, why they are DCs. So anyways, the cop's smart enough to ask the kids the question, did you guys get new clothes? And the kids, well, those kids just told the truth.
Mama, where'd you get your clothes from? Did Mama take them out of the house? Or?
Yeah, they were in a basket.
In a basket? When'd she take them out?
They were at the hotel when I got there, and I didn't know when she got them out.
At the hotel, and you didn't know where they come from?
The house?
They come from the house?
Yeah, the burnt house.
Burnt house? So they were in a basket?
Yep.
Is it clothes that you wore all the time?
Yeah.
Some of your favorite outfits?
Half of them were ruined. Half of them were like black.
Mm-hmm.
Because they be in the house.
What about the other half?
Clean.
The other half are clean. What kind of clothes were they?
They were like short sleeves and all that.
Short sleeves. Long pants? Any short pants?
Mm-hmm. Got a bunch of those.
Bunch of those.
So now the cops know that the kids got the clothes from the suitcases which their mum had pre-packed, luckily and coincidentally, before the house got burnt down. So they get the warrants for the house and they go through that little garden shed and it's all pure gold. But now let's just head back to that J for Genius plan again, eh? And let's take a look at the other things that this genius here put into that genius plan. That all became a little bit of a problem for her and just pure gold for the cops and the DA. First off, even way back then, they ran the phone records. And you know, the first person that this DC, this Dopey witch, called after she found out that the hubby had been burnt to death was who? A, her family? No. B, her friends? No. C, the life insurance guy. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, yes. Next up is timings. Timings of when Dopey here says that she left the house and was well clear before that fire started.
I know we didn't leave any later than 8:30. I know that.
But you see, her mate in the car says, no, man, it was like 9, almost 9 by the time we left the house, which means that Dopey here would have definitely been at the house over a period of minutes, while someone was lighting that fire at that house to burn it down. Just a coincidence, really. So Dopey has to beat the timings. And the thing is, her friend saying that, oh, it's 9 really doesn't mean much. But you see, genius here should have been packing sandwiches instead of packing clothes in suitcases because she got hungry all that morning and went to a Chick-fil-A. And at the Chick-fil-A, they've got a camera. Oh, gold. And on that camera, they've got a timer, as you can see here. So all they have to do is some simple maths. How long does it take to drive from their place to Chick-fil-A? And that's roughly 7 minutes. And what that means is that these coppers now know that the chick in front of them is a DC. And not just any DC, she's a bitch of Eastwick, just a real dopey witch of a murderer who murders by fire, which is a horrific way to kill someone. And they've got one of those things now that these cops are sure she murdered him through arson, just a dopey witch. So what's next on the scale of this genius chick? You see, prior to the arson and her murdering her hubby, she'd been lipping him out, like poisoning him with lithium over a period of time, making him go night-nights and stuff. And the good thing for all of us is that she told everyone that she was doing it. How? Even the victim, even the hubby who she murdered, suspected her of doing it to him, but just passed it off, you know? The thing is, you see, I reckon that people must have said something to him, you know, and says, he's going, oh, I think she's nothing me out. Like, oh, what? Why would you do that for? Maybe she's trying to kill you. And you see, our victim would go, no, there's no way she'd do that. She's far too dumb to do something like that. And well, here's the thing, you see. That's one of those things that he thought that there's no way she'd kill him because she's just far too dumb for that. She'd never get away with it. This is one of those times where you can say, you know what? The victim was completely wrong, but at the same time, exactly fucking right. He was wrong when he thought, wow, she's not dumb enough to kill me. He was definitely wrong about that, but he was absolutely right when it come to, because there's no way he should get away with it because she really is a dopey witch. That is correctamundo. So let's get back to this genius J4 plan of hers. You know, the one where the objective is to get $500,000 from that's like the life insurance. And that's what the DA said made up half the motive of wanting to murder him. And the other half of the motive, well, that came down to embezzlement. This dopey witch was embezzling money and defrauding her husband and other places. So it was all going to come out. So now that gives motive and timing, and they sew that up with a big bow and put that in our Goldilocks' hair. So now that's what the cops have on them, right? That's what the cops now know. And they call our dopey witch back into the cop shop just to put another couple of questions to her. But before they put those questions to our dopey witch, what they do is they give her a polygraph test. Now, here's the thing, because it's another thing, is that, like you, I have seen quite a few of these examinations, you know, like quite a few. And you're usually there when they give the results too, eh? And like, you know, there are those people that do and those people that don't pass it. They did all of those tests and all of those polygraphers or whatever they're called, and all of those tests. I've never heard of a test coming back like it has for this DC in its result, which proved that she was lying and they believed that it was more than 100% accuracy. So more than 100% chance more that she's lying about everything. Gold. Yeah, no, it's gold. I just never knew you could get that, but apparently you can. So anyways, they strap her in, put their mask on and give her these questions. Let's get a listen to this witch.
Did you start that fire?
Yeah.
Did you plan with anyone to set that fire at your house?
And that's it. That's the polygraph test. They just ask them a couple of questions, just the most relevant questions. That's it.
I told you before, I'm just a real direct guy. Been doing this for a long, long time.
I don't want you to be the other way.
Well, big problems with this test. And I think you knew there were going to be big problems with this test. I'm talking very, very big problems, okay?
Megan trying to explain to this thing that's sitting in front of you like there's never been a test result like it, saying to her that it's not that we think you're lying, it's that we think that you're really, really lying. Hey, I know, thought experiment. Here's a thought experiment for you. I want you to think that you are DC in the situation that you're in right now. Now, as DC, I want you to think, at what stage do you think, hey, wait a minute, these guys think that I might have done this? At what stage do you start thinking that thought, that, oh, maybe the cops don't believe me. Maybe the cops think I did it. At what stage? If you take part, let me know in the comments below. Let me know. Now, let's start that experiment.
We're playing more games.
Now, it's right now. What now?
You started the fire. And I don't know, this doesn't tell me everything about it. It doesn't tell me the hows and the whys and all that stuff. I can only speculate about that. You can tell me the truth about this fire. That's the only way I can help you.
You see, right here at this point, this was not meant to be in this J for Genius plan of hers, but old Dopey here, she's not out of the fight yet. No way, you see. She comes up with story number 2. You see, she has a backup. Our witch has a plan B that nobody saw coming. You know, who would have thought such a thing? Who would have thought that this track would be smart enough to come up with something cunning? Well, no one really, which is lucky because her story too is meant to convince the police that she is the good guy here and the victim, he's the bad guy because he committed suicide. He's the one that burns himself to death. And she just tried to stop him, because she's the good guy, not the victim.
If you choose not to tell me the truth.
Genius.
He told me he wanted to die, and he told me to leave the house. And I said, baby, I'm going to get the car and knocked. And he said, don't ask me no more questions. And I said, baby, why? Just tell me why. He said, I just want you to know that I love you and I love you.
Oh, God, isn't it gold? Yeah, old DC. And the thing is, the first thing I would say to her is the same as what this cop says, and see what bullshit story she comes up with to explain why she never told me this before.
And why have you not shared that little bit of information with the investigators up until now?
Not quite an origin question, but we'll take it nonetheless.
Because I didn't want him to think that I would sit in jail and take the blame before I let them know he started this fire.
Yeah, the one thing that proves that this DC's telling the truth is the only thing that you cannot prove. Gold. So, on with the witch's inquisition.
Back to your very initial statements to these guys, you told them everything was wonderful. There weren't any marital problems. And now we know that there were serious marital problems. When you lie, it just makes things worse with every lie that you tell. And you just keep telling one lie after another.
Now, the reason why the cops absolutely know that this witch is full of it is that the autopsy showed that our victim had burns all over the bottoms of his feet, which meant that at some stage he was standing up trying to put the fire out with his feet, but unfortunately succumbed to the injuries. Like I said before, and probably will say again, this chick is a fucking genius.
You know what I think? This is what I think.
You hit me.
I'll hit you with it. I think you packed up their clothes the night before and put them out in that building, in the outbuilding. You'd planted it. I think your husband was in bed. I think you poured the accelerant. I think you lit it. I think you lit the fire.
Now, let me tell you, that's enough to get warrants for you for murder, okay? And I think that's what we need to do. Just lock you away.
Now, is there anyone here that's still inside the thought experiment that's still at this stage, if you were the DC, still wouldn't think that you may be under suspicion? If there's anyone here that's still thinking that, then please, what's this next clip?
They're about to charge me for murder.
because even our DC at this stage thinks that. So hopefully there's no one still in that experiment right now. Otherwise, well, DC. Now, even with all of that evidence, that circumstantial evidence, with all of that evidence, they wanted just that little bit extra. And where were they going to get that from? They were going to get that from the mouths of babes. Again, her babes. You see old Dopey here, old Dopey witch here forgot to tell her kids, when you guys get in the car, you make sure you put your head forward and don't look back. But unfortunately for our DC, she forgot to say that, and the kids, well, they did look back. And this is what they say they said to their mum when she got back in the car, when they turned around from seeing all the smoke pissing out the back of their house. This is what they said to their mum and what their mum said back.
And then you said she came back outside. Is that right? And then what happened?
Caleb said that the house was on fire.
So did you see a lot of smoke or a little smoke?
A lot.
Where was it coming from?
Yeah, back to the house in the corner of the house.
Allison had mentioned smoke.
Yeah, we seen the smoke and we were wondering where it was coming from.
So did you say something to your mom?
Yeah.
What did you say?
No, this is, I think the house on fire. She goes, no, that's just most papers.
Did you see the papers burning?
No, but I seen the smoke.
Okay, you just saw the smoke, and
Yeah.
and your mom told you she was.
A genius. Yep, my mum said she's a genius. She said she put the J in genius. And by crikey, son, she did. So they charged our genius with malice murder and aggravated arson. And so, how did it all end up? Well, she started off with a not guilty, and she believed that the evidence was pretty thin, that it just wasn't strong enough. But then the rest of the clampets from the trailer park, they burned a cross outside and says, that's you if you don't plead guilty. So she did, and ended up getting 30 years. So she'll be out and being a genius in 2041 at the age of 67, which is fucking unreal when you think about it. Because look, here in this picture, she's 34. And it's like, obviously she's done some hard yards to look this good, which like all those spells and potions didn't work, witchy. Now, here's something that cracked me up. Just another piece to put on top of that pile of shit and cement it, and to show that she really is that dumb. And that is that at her sentencing, she said that she obeyed her husband's last wishes and lit 2 candles and walked away because he didn't know how to do that. Yeah, you never got taught on how to light a candle before. Need I say more? D-F-C. A genius, ladies and gentlemen. A genius. So anyways, that brings us to the end of this happy Halloween Bitches of Eastwick special. I do hope everyone is safe, and kids, please remember, it's Halloween. Kids, if you answer the door and it looks like this, close the door and run. Go day. Okay, everyone, stay safe. Stay safe, everyone.